Hey guys, Kiki B here. Chilling out with Ozzy this morning, just waking up. Had a pretty busy week, which is why I didn't get to post my review about HangTime LA. But Dribbble hosted this awesome event called HangTime LA, and it was my first design conference, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to do a quick video and talk about the speakers and the event overall, and maybe like what stood out to me the most and what I walked away with. So I don't really have this planned. I'm just going to jump in. But basically, I'm coming from a graphic design standpoint, so if there's UX designers out there, other designers out there, know that this was a great conference, but I didn't really resonate with the UX content as much as the graphic design content, so I'm going to speak mostly about that and kind of the entrepreneurial aspect of everything that went behind it. So, the first person to speak was Meg Lewis, and she's from Darn Good Co. And she was really cool. She talked about basically how you can be a designer that kind of not necessarily bends the knee for your clients, but kind of figures out what the client wants and wants to do it in their style, or you can be a designer as an artist. And this is something I've personally been struggling with because I always kind of think about my client first, and like a designer doing a certain design for a Spanish restaurant or a boutique, I kind of always change my style to what would be best for the client, and that's kind of going the designer route, the entrepreneurial designer route. And she talks about how she kind of went the designer artist route, where she had a style that she stuck to, that she believed in, that was her, it represented her, and basically people started to look up to her for that or go to her for that specific style, and that's how she became kind of a designer as an artist. And that's something I would love to do and am looking more into, and that's something I walked away with from her speech, which was amazing and great to hear that her problem was actually the opposite of mine. So it's just very interesting. I liked her a lot. Her name's Meg Lewis from Darn Good Co. I would check her out. She also has a book called Full-Time You, which I have to look into. I kind of want to buy it. So I would look up that as well. And one thing she said that I quoted from her was, operate out of love, not fear. And that's pretty strong in my opinion, because a lot of times we get a little scared about, oh, the client said this, I have to do it this way, or I just got fired, I'm not doing something right, or this person stole my idea, I should say something to them. And it's really not about that. It's about being a creative and kind of opening yourself up and sharing your work and collaborating and staying true to your personality and who you are. And that's kind of what I got from her speech, and I loved it, and I thought I'd like to share that with you guys. There were a lot of great speakers, like I said. I'm not going to go through every single one. I'm just going to talk about the ones that kind of resonated with me the most. I've been following Jen and Amy Hood for quite a while, and I kind of fell off following them for some reason. I just wasn't into my Instagram as much. But they are Hood Spa Design Studio, and they're super rad, like super energetic. I went up to their booth afterwards, and I got their book, Freelance Business and stuff. I would check it out. I have not dove into it yet, but it looks really cool and awesome. Long story short, their story is that they kind of dropped out of college, worked at this shady kind of coupon saver magazine type magazine, and I guess they described it as working out of a garage, and they eventually led to creating their own magazines, 3 or 4 of them. And this is the part I kind of missed, and I don't know if I zoned out or not, but they were recognized in some way for their work, and they ended up doing their own thing by creating their own magazines. And once people saw their talents and their abilities, like a big name like Nike or whatever wanted to work with them, that's kind of how they got their start of being able to kind of do the things that they wanted to do and having people come to them for their work, which was awesome. I loved it. And I also bought one of their pins when I was there at their booth afterwards, because my logo is an eye, and I I'll put it in the middle. My logo is an eye, and this kind of just resonated with me, and I'm from New York, so this worked out perfectly. But they're great. I would look them up. Chutzpah Design Studio. They're super nice. I'm thinking about DMing them and asking them a few more questions because I do have more questions for them, and I love their work. What else? Okay, so 2 icons were there. Susan Kare, who I don't know if you know, created the original MacBook icons. Some of the icons we still use today, like the command key. She was just insanely amazing. She did all these Facebook icons, everything. I just love looking at her work just to think about how she was so specifically niched into just doing icons. And she talked how when it originally started, it was like I think it was 16 by 16 pixel grid where she had to create these images from, which is very, very interesting. She was incredible. She had a lot of good things to say. What I walked away with from her is that she kind of always questioned everything, and she said she loved working with the engineers at Mac. I'm sorry, was it Mac or Apple at the time? Whatever. She loved working with the engineers. She didn't like sitting by the designers because to her, the engineers could answer her questions or had a different perspective or gave her a different way of looking at things, and it was just easier for her to work that way, which I thought was so smart. She's awesome. I would look her up. It's Susan Kare, and her last name is spelled Kare. Then there was one person that stuck out to me too, Peter Deltondo. I think he was more on the UX side of things. I can't fully remember, but what was so cool is that he talked about how important it was for him to balance his work life and his family life. And he showed a picture of his schedule. Like, he openly just put his schedule up there. It was like, hey, like, this is what I do. I work in the morning. I have meetings from this time to this time. I spend time with my family from this time to this time. This is my commute. This is when I go to the gym. This is when I play video games. Like, he was fully transparent with everything he did. And it was very cool how, you know, after seeing that, you don't have to be guilty. Sometimes I feel like I'm a little hard on myself. I'm like, I should be working all the time. Go, 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 go. But you don't have to be guilty about watching your favorite Netflix show or playing video games as long as you're getting the work you need to get done and managing yourself properly. Like, you can have a fully balanced lifestyle while still having a highly successful career, which is incredible to me. There are a few other people. Let me see here. I wrote down UNO company. I'm not sure about the speaker for that. I apologize. My notes were a little all over the place, but I looked up his work, and UNO, UENO, his work is incredible. He has a very interesting story that, you know, his life wasn't all that easy in the beginning, and to he really persevered and created a life for himself and created what he wanted to create, regardless of his disabilities like muscular dystrophy and losing his mother. And it was just very emotional and very deep. He got a standing ovation at the end. I think he fully deserved it. He was incredible. Again, I'm sorry. I think I mixed up my notes here. But if you look up UNO, I think the founder and creator of UNO, I don't know his name off the top of my head. He was insanely inspirational and motivational. I loved hearing him speak and loved seeing his work. His work is beautiful. And then, last but not least, Paula Scher was there. And I don't know if you're a designer, if you know Paula Scher, she is basically a pentagram icon. She has done, you've definitely seen her work, I'm sure. If you were to go on her website, you know what her work looks like. You say, oh yeah, I've been in New York, I've seen this. She does so much, and she's so influential and just incredible. And the one thing, she had a lot to say, and I'm not going to go through everything, but the one thing that I wrote down that I want to quote her on my Instagram actually is, you don't want to be the smartest person in the room. You want to be the dumbest so you can learn more. And that was just very inspirational. It resonated with me because it's so true. Like, if we're not constantly growing as people and in our business, what are we doing? That's what this whole event was about. This whole conference was about. Me going to my first design conference. I wanted to grow. I wanted to learn from other creative entrepreneurs, and I did. I learned a lot. It was a great event. Like I said, I walked away with some books. I walked away with a HangTime t-shirt, which was pretty cool. They had lots of free stuff. Dribbble hosted a great event. It was at the Ace Hotel downtown, and I love the Ace Hotel. I got a free tote bag, stickers. There were lots of sponsors there. Overall, it was awesome. I'm not going to lie, it was my first event, so I was a little shy. I wish that I would have gone up to more of the speakers and had more intimate conversations with them. Definitely for the next time. I'm for sure going to make myself do that. I'm going to stop saying so much. I'm saying that a lot. Like I said, this is my first video, first review, first ever design conference. There I go again. And I would recommend, if you were to go to this event or any other design event in the future, take extensive notes, number one. Number two, write down what you feel was the most important information that you walked away from that day that you'd like to implement into your life to grow as a creative entrepreneur. And to also not be afraid, like me, to talk to some of the speakers. All of them were super nice. I definitely had a lot of opportunities. I was just a little nervous, not going to lie. But yeah, if you have any questions about the event further, feel free to DM me. My name's Kiki. I'm the founder of iSavvy Design, and I'd be happy to talk to you guys more about the event or anything else having to do with design or branding for that matter. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.